3AW with Denis Walter. Singer and actress Lea Salonga has done a lot of things, but is arguably best known as the voice of some Disney characters, including Jasmine and others in Aladdin. In a 37-year career, she has done absolutely everything, including winning a Tony Award for her performance in Miss Saigon. Been a judge on The Voice as well, but is in Melbourne to perform this week at Hamer Hall with Orchestra Victoria. Lea, welcome to 3AW.
Thank you.
Interesting career, 37 years.
Right.
You started young.
I started very young. I think next year, 2018, I will be celebrating 40 years in this
40
business.
years.
Yeah.
So what were the first show business? What was the entry into showbiz?
The entry was The King and I, and just being one of the kids in the children's ensemble with lines of dialogue here and there, and then it just kept on going from that.
And that were you concerned that maybe you wouldn't be able to make an adult career out of it, or were you always pretty certain where you would want it to end up?
I actually wasn't even thinking about this as an adult career when I was a kid. My parents were always emphasizing my academics and not really banking on a show business career because of its nature of being fickle and sometimes disappointing. So I went into uni and entered into the pre-med program, and I was a biology student. And while in uni, I auditioned for Miss Saigon, and that was pretty much where everything changed.
That your parents weren't sort of saying, yes, you're going to be a star, is probably a really good thing.
I think it was. So you get a pretty good head on your shoulders, I think, when you're told the truth about what a career in this business could very well end up being. So I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, my mom especially, incredibly supportive with this career. And I think she always had a feeling that it would end up here.
It's interesting, though, because when I started in show business, which was a long time ago, but everyone sort of said, oh, gee, it's not like being a bank manager or anything. And then though all of those professions have become some of them don't even exist.
Some of the most fickle ones as well, yeah. So I think in any industry, it's very possible that kind of thing happens.
So your early career was in the Philippines?
Yeah.
And then with the breaks to do Miss Saigon, how did that happen?
That happened in the West End. I think it was when they were starting to think about casting for Miss Saigon. Cameron McIntosh, the producer, who had also produced Les Miserables and Phantom of the Opera, I think they were embarking on this worldwide talent search. So they began first in London, but it didn't seem to really yield very much at the time. And then they headed to New York and Los Angeles and Honolulu, and then finally Manila. It was Claude Michel Schoenberg, I think, who said that we have to go to the Philippines to look for people, because when he was in Paris, he had seen on television there was a Filipino movie being aired, and then there was one scene where there were these Asians singing with Western type voices, and so that's when he said, okay, this is the Philippines, we have to go. And it wasn't just me that they found over there. They found other members of the company, a few featured people. They found a whole slew of male ensemble, one of whom is actually going to be making his own Broadway debut in Miss Saigon in the revival in New York City this coming March. So for him, it's a huge full circle moment.
Your success and that happening, which is well done to them for looking around the world for people to star in Miss Saigon, but your success must have inspired so many other people in the Philippines.
I think it was just a window into what is possible, that a musical theater career is actually something that is now a viable one. It is not, you don't have to consider it just a hobby that you do on the weekends or after work, that it can actually be your primary source of income. But it's still, I mean, show business in the Philippines, it still can be quite fickle. It's not always the kindest business, but it's much better now for musical theater talent.
Were you a practicing biologist by this point?
Oh, God, no. No. I was only in my first year at uni. That was it.
So your parents once something like that came along,
they were quite happy for me not to go back to uni, at least not for biology. I think my mom is still hoping that I get my college degree in what major, I don't think she cares. But life has been pretty good, so I think she's all right with how things turned out.
How is judging? You've been judging on The Voice in
Yeah.
the Philippines. And here are these young people who are aspiring to do exactly what you've been able to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
How big a responsibility do you feel in that role?
I feel a bigger responsibility when we're handling children. I mean, for this coming season, which is going to be our sixth season, we're going to be handling teenagers. So that feeling of responsibility is going to be pretty big because these are people who have stars in their eyes and big dreams, and we have to kind of train them and let them know, of course, what the reality of the situation is. But hopefully we'll be able to find and train some really amazing talent. And in every season, we've all been able to find someone or quite a few someones that are just incredible. So
Are some of them not open to being helped and directed?
Oh no, I think they come into the show knowing that that is what's going to happen. I mean, you'll have a few hard-headed people, and sometimes there is some resistance, but for the most part, we get people that are just wanting to be trained and wanting to be coached and mentored, especially the younger ones. They're the most open to everything.
2 concerts this week at
Yep.
Hamer Hall. Have you seen Hamer Hall yet?
I have. I went there
Beautiful.
this morning. It's gorgeous.
It is magnificent. What's in store for listeners who come along?
Well, they'll get Disney and definitely musical theater. But it's definitely going to be a more pop-heavy program compared to what we had at Sydney at the Opera House last weekend. So we'll have Orchestra Victoria. And then I think we have a whole different repertoire, and I think we're just going to have a lot of fun. And my brother Gerard is conducting, so he's music directing this one for me.
Did he finish university?
Oh yeah, he did twice. He went to a university first in Manila for his undergrad, and then he got a diploma from the Berklee College of Music, and he graduated summa cum laude with that one. So I think the second degree, I think he got on my behalf. So it's fine. So we know it's
So
like
there
we
are
have
two-
one each.
two
So we're
degrees in the
fine.
family.
Exactly.
And that's what your mother wanted.
Exactly.
Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Thank
and
you.
Is this your first time in concert in Melbourne?
No, this is the second.
Second
But
time.
this is the first time at Hamer Hall. I'm really looking forward to. Everyone that's told me about it has said only wonderful things.
There are only less than 100 tickets left between the 2 shows, tomorrow night and Wednesday night. So you need to get a wriggle on if you're going to be heading along to see Lea Salonga. Ticketmaster.com.au. Orchestra Victoria, a world superstar. It'll be 2 beautiful nights. Lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you too. Thank you.